we just simply work on hooking up the looked and the looker, and catching our projections, slowly but surely the two sides of the self connect. And then you get this leap to a more expanded state of self. Yes, and then that sense of self does not see things as separate anymore. So then, of course, the pain in my arm, I will tend to experience it as I am creating it at some level. And then you get the shift of what does it mean? What does the pain in my arm mean? The old paradigm tries to understand the body in terms of how, mechanics, left brain mechanics, and as separate from the observer, the person, the host. But this new approach would then the approach to bodily symptoms is more based on the why. And then you get someone that generates a terrible pain in arm pain, and that actually they would like to choke someone with that arm, but they have dissociated from that part of the self. That's the self that is fragmented in multiple viewpoints or identities. And then the body is simply playing out that identity, that piece of the self that the person does not want to connect to.
So that physical problem has to do more with the person than with the body?
Absolutely. The body is just a result, it's just a resonance of the state of the self, which would then, one can see that as a unified field underneath the physical, the material level. So yeah, this is why the classical scientific approach has generated a completely wrong view of the body and of the world, because it's based on one-sided points of view and a fragmented self-concept. And then, so even the great physicist Pauli was haunted in his dreams by his self. And this physicist that was a Nobel winner was in his dreams being told that his physics was not complete, that he lacked aspects of his self, and thus creating a completely one-sided, mechanical, materialistic view of the world. You see, the complete self
was it physics without meaning?
Yes, physics without meaning, without consciousness, without mind, without feelings. And the world is not material. The world is a field of energy. It's energy. So at the deeper level, everything is energy and everything is connected. But we tend to then fall into that one-sided viewpoints, which then creates this illusion of separateness and of the mind and the body is separate, the observer and the observed is separate, feelings is separate from cognition. It's not. Whatever you think, you will generate feelings. So if I'm operating in wrong thoughts, it has an effect on how I feel.
Body.
And the feelings is intimately connected to the
matter.
Well, yes, to the biological level of chemistry and so that's why we have to work on improving the self state. Nothing else is sustainable.
Going by a sick person in his hospital room and you tell him, sorry, you did it yourself.
Exactly. Exactly, and you see, and this is the point. This is the aspect that.
And then on the other side, you do have a lot of people saying, "Oh, when I feel pain, I feel it in my heart, I feel it in my chest, I feel it in my stomach." But still, people don't tell them when you have a sickness. You don't go to a person that has a kidney problem and needs a kidney transplant. You don't tell them, you know, you did this yourself.
Right. And that's you see the awakening to this transcendent sense or perception is a painful awakening, and that's why touching the shadow is in dreams and in literature and in movies always depicted as, for instance, a near-death experience or a crucifixion or a painful journey through the past, because it's so painful, and yes, because we have owning up to our reality and our creations is the awakening to that is always painful, because we have to then become aware that what we have created is disease, problems, wars. So it's a very painful awakening. But once we have admitted that we have created disease, wars, and conflicts, only then we can move on to create new stuff. But if we experience these creations as independent of us, we cannot awaken to that function that can change. So yes, it's definitely not pleasant for someone that has cancer to hear that they have created that themselves. But it is the price that we have to pay if we want to cure from it ourselves. If not, we will remain dependent on a doctor and chemotherapy to fix it. And we know that that doesn't help. So yes, the awakening, so one cannot change the circumstances that we live in if we do not accept that what is currently around us is our creation. You see? You cannot become a full creator if you are in denial that what is now around you is also your creation. So one has to then accept that everyone that's in one's life now, everything that one has in one's body is one's creation, that we at some point have asked for this and it has come. And then, when we really see that, then we can ask for new stuff, new things. You see, yes, so to emancipate out of that victim situation where we experience everything as befalling us, independent of our own actions, we cannot become a free agent if we do not accept that. So there is a level of redemption involved here, a level of having to truly accept that we have created what is now in our bodies and around. And so it is a bitter pill, but there is no way to become a creator, a conscious creator, if we don't accept our unconscious creations. You're definitely right about that. But it is the only way to the rebirth towards that transcendent self, that sense of self. It's like almost saying you cannot get to that level of being able to create if you do not accept the old creations. You see, it's like a kind of a catch-22. It's like saying I cannot graduate to that level where I can change everything in my life if I don't accept what I have created before this renewal.